Maldives. So that could be one reason, sir.
So Israel also offered some investments in Lakshadweep.
Yes, sir.
So what are the repercussions of it? Will India accept it or not?
So that should be evaluated on merits, sir. If Israel wants to genuinely invest in Lakshadweep, I think we should permit it, sir. But if it has certain, if the investment comes at a backdrop where Israel is involved in war with Hamas, the Israel expects India's support, then that should be viewed cautiously, sir.
Okay, our finance minister in her budget speech
Yes.
for 2023-24, she mentioned about Amrit Kal, and India has plans to develop it by 2047 as a developed country.
Yes, sir.
So, can India do that?
Sir, I believe India can do it, sir. The reason India has a huge scope for development, sir. We are one of the fastest growing economy in the world. The recent GDP data shows that India is growing at a 7.3%, which is the highest in the world. And we are also working on multiple sectors. So we are promoting FDIs, and we have India is also experiencing or in the period of demographic dividends. So human capital forms one of the biggest strengths which India can exploit.
Sorry for the intervention. What is the percentage of manufacturing and industry in this country? Has it been growing or has it been stagnant as a percentage of GDP?
So unfortunately, it has been stagnant.
Then where is the question of growth? If there is no manufacturing, there is no industry, where is the growth? In fact, for the last 60 years, it has been stagnant at 13-14%.
Yes.
So how do you say that we are growing at 7%, etc.?
So the IT exports are growing, sir.
That's service sector.
Yes, sir. Service sector is growing.
I'm talking of manufacturing, which is a lot of production, employment generation, etc.
The GDP of China is about $18 trillion.
Yes.
USA is about $23 or $24 trillion.
Yes.
So India is about $3.7 trillion. Can India beat these two countries, USA and China, in the next 25 years?
So it is difficult, sir, for India to catch up at
Does
a
any time
pace.
is there a chance to beat China?
Definitely, sir, we can aspire for that somewhere down.
When can it happen? Why it can happen?
So it's very difficult to put a timeline, sir. It depends on a lot of factors. The rate of investments, the rate of...
The GDP is determined by population, is it not? China's population is beaten by India now.
Yes, sir.
And it's going to be reduced in future, Chinese population.
Yes.
So what will happen? And China, the investments are flowing back to other countries.
Yes, sir.
So what is going to happen? At one time, China thought that it could cross the GDP of USA, but now nobody is saying that.
So this is somewhere India has to use its position, sir. China plus one strategy, which countries are looking for it. India must reap that benefits, sir. Should have a accommodative investment policy so that companies looking to translocate their business outside of China, those companies must be given a favorable treatment in India.
Okay. The nepotism and political corruption that dominate the Indian elections today.
Yes.
So what type of election reforms India needs?
Reforms where the money and muscle power must be limited, sir. So for that, state funding of elections is something that India can look into it, sir, to reduce, to ensure that there is a level playing field for all the candidates, so that even the youngsters who are aspiring to enter into elections can also participate. That is one electoral reform, sir. The other is improving voter percentage in urban areas is something.
What about electoral funding by the government?
Yes, sir. State funding of elections is something that seems to be promising for India, sir. Given that money and muscle play a determining role in election outcomes, this is something
But
that.
is it really feasible in the present context? Will government accept any political party today?
Sir, I think my knowledge is limited on that aspect.
Sir,
Okay. In the matter of economics, sometimes due to certain actions, countries which were not expected to overtake a big economy, they managed to overtake without any special effort. But due to the actions or mistakes of that big economy. Can you give me an example?
Sir, I'm not able to.
Till 2014, Russian economy was much bigger than Indians.
Yes.
In 2014, they occupied a piece of Ukraine called Crimea.
Yes, sir.
And since then, they were required to spend a lot of money in retaining Crimea, further compounded by their occupation of the Donbass area in the eastern part of Ukraine in February 2022. Consequently, they faced a lot of sanctions. Therefore, their economy is now the 10th largest, and India's is the 5th. We did nothing great, but Russian economy is 5 times below us, 5 places below us. So something like that might happen even to China or to USA. Nothing can be predicted.
Yes.
So that is by way of the question that,
You see, all development is a function of investment.
Yes.
If that investment flows, India luckily, because NRI investment has been flowing regularly, other people are also actually investing in India because there is a good atmosphere and an environment created. That is one thing which we can expect. But all development is predicated on one important factor. As an engineering student, you should understand. And that is actually the number of patents each country is holding. If the number of patents are much higher, then the chances and scope for faster development is higher.
Yes.
That point is extremely important. That how many patents does this country have?
India has very few.
Very few. So there is calculations are based on for every 1,000 scientists how many patents have been actually registered. You understand? This point you please keep in mind.
Sure.
And as far as economic development is concerned, it's a function of investment, it's a function of technical manpower, it's a function of actually product quality, it's a function of your export capability, and your function of able to actually do it at the least cost. Unless these factors all coalesce together, only then you can do better. You understand?
Yes.
So that point you must keep in the back of your mind. Meera Adagandi.
Yeah, Srikanth,
Yes.
once you become a collector, okay, you need to look into the welfare of the public.
Yes.
If someone approaches you with a health problem, but there is no scope to release funds, what do you do?
Sir, could you mind repeating the question?
So someone approached you for some help or health benefits, okay? Yeah. Someone has some health problem and they approached you for help, okay? But there are no funds. There is no scope to release funds to that person. What do you do?
Sir, I can approach some of the charities or NGOs which are working in this sector, okay, who are help the needy person.
When the government has no funds, how is it okay the government approaching the NGOs?
So NGOs do complement the government's role, sir. I believe it's okay to work with NGOs.
Okay. So what are your long-term goals?
So my long-term goal is to work in those sectors um, where there's much need for development.
Okay.
I want to work in sectors like health and education.
Health and education. Where do you want to see yourself in 25 years?
As a senior bureaucrat.
Senior bureaucrat. Senior bureaucrat is a broader term.
So I want to proactively contribute to the government policies.
Right? And you are a computer engineer. You are interested in artificial intelligence.
Yes.
What is the difference between ChatGPT and Google Bard? Which one is better? Why?
Sir, both are based on generative AI, sir.
Right?
Both use the same technology.
Right?
And when it comes to efficiency, both are equally efficient, sir. As I know.
Right? Are you sure?
Sir, I believe there has been no statistical data which says that one is better than the other. There have been issues when it comes to accuracy, but I believe both are on a broader level have the same efficiency.
Okay. So how can we use artificial intelligence
In any particular sector?
in administration?
In administration, sir, artificial intelligence has already been used in many of the government initiatives. For example, in COVID platform, it has been used during COVID times where to identify the regions most affected by the COVID and to take adequate measures.
Can you tell me, where does administration
So,
come into close contact with the public?
administration, I believe with the schemes that government tries to bring, it comes closer with that.
Where does it come into close contact with the people?
So, no, I'm not able to.
Are there panchayats?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Are they not in touch with the people?
Yes, yes,
District administration, are they not in touch with the people? Hmm?
yes.
So when we ask, we must think where do people interact with the government?
Yes.
Where that interaction is taking place?
I would like to ask you one thing. In AP, there are village and ward secretariats.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is their role and how is they required all those kind of secretariats, or is it extra burden to the government?
So the government aims to bring volunteers is to take administration.
I'm talking about secretariats, not volunteers.
Secretariat, sir.
Village secretariats are different from volunteers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sir, yes, sir, it's a burden, but at the end, they have been very useful in taking government schemes to the public, sir. So in that way, it is a burden that the government has to take up, sir.
I will ask one question. There are three aspects to any schemes: planning,
Yes, sir.
implementation,
Yes, sir.
evaluation.
Yes.
Now, in these three things, which do you think is important? Planning or implementation or evaluation? Which is most important?
So, all of them are equally important, sir. If I have to choose one, planning is the most important, sir.
Planning may be very good, but if implementation is not good,
Yes, sir. All of them are equally important, sir.
so what really affects the people? Is it planning which affects, or is it implementation which affects?
Implementation is the one which affects people, sir. But at a planning level, if we can, if we have a comprehensive plan that addresses the needs of people, so and it is complemented with the effective implementation, then people will get benefited, sir.
Okay, No, we have actually interviewed you. Now, if you have any doubts, any questions to ask of us, you please ask us. Any things which you want clarification, you please ask us.
I think I should have done better, sir, some of the questions. So, structured answers,
Okay?
I thought I should.
Now, you yourself tell, you have appeared before us, we have questioned you, you have given the answers.
Yes.
Now, how do you feel yourself? Whether you think you have done well or it can be improved or this is all that can be said. What is your feeling? You please tell us.
I think there's a need to, there's a lot of areas that I need to work, sir.
Yeah.
So one is structuring my answer. And I'm not able to grasp the
No,
question.
no, I want to ask you a thing. When you are answering, are you feeling confident that you are giving the correct answer? Number one. Two, are you feeling that your voice is clear to us? Are you actually systematically doing it? How do you feel about it? I am asking frankly, because that is the way you can improve, that's how.
I felt confident in most of the questions.
Right,
In some of the-
okay.
in some of the questions, I
Right,
was not
right.
very confident where I think my voice went down. And
Yeah,
the
okay.
questions where I was
Right,
not.
okay, okay.
And, my eye movements have been random. I guess they have been random. So something that I need to work upon.
See, your voice does not convey that you are telling the truth and you are actually